almost out of shine. Almost time to make some more. Guys, outofworkbum here, and I'm almost out of shine. This is the time of year where I usually give a lot away. Holidays are coming up. Today's the day before Thanksgiving, so this batch should be ready for the Christmas time, New Year's Eve area. What we're going to use today is Pear. These are Bosch Pear, and these were on sale this week, so I grabbed these. Usually I grab whatever's on sale or in season, depends on what I have. I've actually never made Pear, so we'll see how it works out. Another thing is that I bought a hydrometer. I've never used a hydrometer, and I'm going to do a little bit of research, and we'll see if we can figure out how this works and what the numbers mean. Again, you guys that have seen me before, you know that I'm still learning. I usually have a pretty decent product, but I get a lot of constructive criticisms on the ways I do things, the numbers, the amounts. Again, I don't know the science of it. I play around with the original base recipe that I used to use, which was 5 pounds of fruit, 5 pounds of sugar, and 5 gallons of water for a 5-gallon batch. I'm getting a lot of people saying I need to use more sugar and more fruit, so I'm going to go 7 pounds of fruit and 7 pounds of, actually that's about 8 pounds of sugar for this batch. We have our fermenting vessel. I don't think that's glass. I probably shouldn't bang on that. We're going to put everything into this, and we're going to get it a little bit softened up and puree it. That just makes it go into my fermenting jug a little easier. Stir the sugar around, and then we'll let it cool down and add the yeast. That's the basic recipe. It's very, very simple. So we'll go ahead and start boiling the water, and I'll add these ingredients once the water gets hot. Alright, so what I did was I boiled two gallons of water. You don't want to boil them all, there's no need for it. I've turned the heat off. We don't need to boil it we're not boiling the pears and the sugar. So we're going to add the sugar first. This is about 8 pounds of sugar. I'm going to keep just a little bit on the side just to activate my yeast later. I'll do that, give that a stir, just to dissolve it. Alright, I'm going to start adding the pears. I'm going to find something to add them so that I don't have to make a huge mess and splash it everywhere. Everybody remembered rule number 1, make a moonshine, make sure your wife is not here, because you will make a mess. You subscribers will remember that. So, again, this is going to be the mash. This is for a Pear Brandy. If you did not distill this, it's going to be a wine, a pear wine, where you'd have to rack it and bottle it and do different steps. So, because I'm making the mash here, it's going to take a couple of weeks for this to ferment before I can distill it. I'm going to post this video tomorrow, and it's just going to be making of the mash. So I'll put a link to another video that I have. I believe it was a blueberry or apple brandy that I had made that I ran through the still. It's the same exact process. And then I'll also put another video up when this is done. But for anybody wanting to know how to do it now and go right from this to the distillation with the little still that I use. This is actually part of it for the indoor still, so I don't have to do the big batch outdoor one. So I'll put a link to that in my other videos, and then if you subscribe in a couple of weeks when this one's ready to run through the still, I'll do that one as well. So anybody that's watching it within the next couple of weeks won't see the final product until it's done. But if you need to, you can go back to that other one. So let me add these pears. Again, there's about 7 pounds of pears here, and what's going to happen, look, I'm making a mess already. What's going to happen is the hot water will just soften it, and if you want to come around here, Mr. Cameraman, the hot water will soften it, but it's not going to boil it or cook it. That's all we want, it's just to get it kind of mushy. And then I'll hit it with the puree. Well, for people not in New Hampshire, the pureer. So, these have been sitting out for an hour, so they're getting a little brown. which is good because that's getting the sugars moving around on them. And this is going to smell awesome in about 25 minutes or so after it starts getting hot and soft. So we'll do that. This shouldn't splash now that I have it started. And we'll go ahead and add the rest of our Unlimited for space. Oh, look at that goodness. So again, I am just learning. So anybody that has tips, I don't take them offensively, as long as you guys aren't acting offensively. I am learning, and I'll try the different things as I see fit. Once you guys let me know about it. So I am gonna try this hydrometer after I get it all mixed together and cooked down and pureed up. I'm gonna have to look at how to use it a little bit more before I go ahead and do that, and we'll see what kind of numbers we get, and then you guys can decipher them, and in the comments you can let me know what you think of them, if I'm doing it right or wrong. I'm gonna learn by looking at a couple of YouTube videos actually while I'm waiting for this to soften up. So that is that. So this is gonna be pretty hot once I puree it and put it into the bottle. That's why I leave a couple of gallons not boiled, so that I can get that down to a excuse me, so I can get that down to a temperature where I can add the yeast to it. I'm going to be using this Red Star Daddy yeast, and this will I believe this allows you to, I think this lives up to like 24% alcohol, which is, it's decent, decent distilling stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll come back once we are ready to puree it and make the real mess. The fun part, do it before your wife gets home. So we're going to take this, we're going to puree it up, kind of like a, more like an applesauce-y type consistency. It doesn't have to be too thin. I just like to break it down. It gives it some surface area for the yeast to work. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll show you when we're done. Alright, so it's all pureed up, and we're getting there. We're moving the fermenter over here, and this is the second messy part here. So we're going to try to do this with as little mess as possible here. And I don't think this is going to work, but we'll try it. Let's see what we can do without dripping everywhere. So this takes a little while, but I'm just going to go with the mess. We'll see. We'll deal with the consequences later. So we're just going to transfer this in, and then we'll add regular spring water to get this back to the top. Alright, so I added a couple more gallons of water to get that to the right height, and I put a little aside with that little bit of like extra sugar that I had aside, and we're going to activate the yeast. So this says 1/4 of a teaspoon for every gallon. So that means for a 5-gallon jug, we're going to have about 1 1/4 teaspoons. It says you can add up to 3 to get it a fast start. So I'm going to do 3 because that's how I roll. So this is warm. I don't know the exact temperature of it. It's not super warm, but it's probably 80 degrees-ish. So we're going to do about 3 of those. And we're going to see if that starts percolating a little bit. And once it does, we will add it to our mash. So we're going to go all Bill Nye the Science Guy on this here. So this is a proof and trellis scale for Spirit, U.S. Custom House, temperature 60 degree. Carlson Company is the brand, and I don't even know if this is the right one. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with this. I don't know anything about it. So I didn't get to research it the way I wanted to. I got tied up with something, but I do have to do this before I add the yeast, I believe. So I'm going to put it into this cup. I've kind of siphoned out some back out of the jar, and I'm going to put it in the cup, and we're going to see what we have going on here. So, I don't know, I said to spin it. I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to do. Maybe it's because it's too hot. Maybe it's supposed to be 60 degrees. I'm not sure. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that. I don't know. I didn't even get the chance to look at the instructions. I just kind of did a quick Google search of how it operates and how to do it, and it said to do it like that and spin it. And so anyway, so that's that. We'll figure that out in the next one, maybe in the next batch or whatever. But my yeast is activating, and I'm going to go ahead and add that. So you can see it's foaming away. Looks good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the yeast to the mixture. And I'll add a little bit of this to kind of wash it around, make sure we don't waste any. Next batch in here. So that should be it for that. Sometimes just to cheat, I do throw another little bit of yeast on the top here if it doesn't seem to be doing much. This is also, we keep our house pretty cold, and the yeast needs to be working at somewhere around 85 degrees, 85 degrees. So what I'll do is I'll put a blanket around this, and we'll set it into a room and just leave it be after I put an airlock on it. I'm going to leave this out and see if this ends up, once it cools off, maybe coming back and doing anything. I don't know what that's supposed to do, but we'll give it a try. If it doesn't do anything, I'll just add that back to the rest of it here. And I'm just going to top it off with water to about here, and then I will add an airlock to it. So that's the end of that for now, and I'll come back with a final wrap up, and we'll go from there. All right. So I've been messing around here with this hydrometer, and I took some brandy that I made about a year ago. It's been aging with this charred wood. I've been trying to change it. So this is coming along really nice. I love the flavor of it. It's red oak with a char on it. And I put the hydrometer in it and give it a spin. And you want you zoom in on those numbers right there. It seems to be right at 120 and then 60. And I don't know what that means, if that's 60 proof or 120 proof, 60% alcohol. This is a batch that I made. I think I showed you the mash on this. Actually, I'm almost 100% sure that that's my peach mash. It doesn't taste like it anymore because I changed the flavor with the oak. So I'm not 100% sure if this is the peach or if this is the blueberry apple. But either way, it's one of the ones I put on the video, one of my previous videos. And so that's what this one's reading. I'll do a little more research on what that means. My house right now is about 68 degrees. It's a little bit warm. We had the fire going all day today, so I don't know if that makes a difference. But that's been in the house. That's room temperature, about 68 degrees. So whatever the mathematic adjustments have to be made for that. I don't know, but it looks like it's right at 120 and then 60 on the other side. So I'm going to put it back in my jar and let it go away. But so that is that for that. And I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm not sure. Don't want to waste any. Ooh, it's good. So let me know what you think about that, and in the meantime, I'll do some researching on it as well, and we'll see if we can get into the sciences of it. Again, this is stuff I made without knowing what that is. It's just by taste. I do everything by taste. I do a little bit of blending, and I just play around with it. So hopefully we get a nice product out of this. Again, this is the pear. It's a Bosch pear. It's 7 pounds of pear, 7 pounds of sugar, 7 or 8 pounds of sugar. This is a 5-gallon batch. And I should end up with about maybe 2.5 of these quart-sized jars out of this batch once it's distilled. And I'll distill it and I'll put a video up. It'll be a couple of weeks. The winter time it takes a little bit longer for the yeast to kick in and do its thing. But if you look at it, you'll see it's starting to separate already. The different, the pulp in there from the pear, and it'll end up kind of separating around, and then all the yeast will come to the top. And once we get the airlock on there, which is this here, for you guys that don't know, it's just an airlock. We're going to put this on the top, and you'll see it start bubbling away once the yeast starts emitting the carbon dioxide. So we're going to go ahead and do that and wrap it up. And again, thanks for watching. It looks like I'm getting quite a few subs here all of a sudden, so thank you for that. Hopefully you guys are liking the videos. I'm not getting many negative comments. Again, I'm learning. It's not like a real science. There's some really good channels out there that are really into the science of it. This is just something I've done for a while. I like to have a little fun with it, and again, I gave most of it away, but I end up with some good stuff. So I like it. Hopefully you guys will like it, and keep on watching. And stay tuned for stuff in the future. I'll try to do some other videos too, and me just kind of messing around and stuff in the yard here and there, like I used to. I have a lot of chicken videos and cow videos and different things out there. But I like the moonshine, and it seems to be a little niche I have here. I get a lot of views on these videos, and you guys seem to like them. And we'll go ahead and end this video. But again, thank you, and I appreciate it, and see you next time.